Joyce, let me get to you first. Now, investors, they're really cheering the prospect of a divided government, but are they pricing in economic uncertainty as COVID infections rise and as we potentially get ready to see a smaller stimulus package?
Well, I think divided government means that you're not going to see radical change either way. So some of the fears about getting something more populist, more regulatory issues coming up, some of that is going away. But we're already seeing some sounds about the fiscal stimulus. Now, it might be smaller than some people thought, but it also might come earlier. And we've still kept the third quarter, the GDP growth for the fourth quarter at 3%. For the U.S. I mean, we've had to take down the revisions in Europe, by comparison. So I think that the market is going to look at the government refunding bill. Will you get some small stimulus done, maybe on airlines, maybe on PPE? Can that actually happen in December? And then do you get something that is, maybe it's not $2 trillion, but is it, $1 to $1.5 trillion that's done early in 2021?
Chris, let me ask you about mega cap tech, because just a week ago we were talking about earnings. These names were under a fair amount of pressure after expressing some certain uncertainty about the quarters ahead. Has that narrative just totally gone away at this point? Investors certainly focusing on their growth prospects and potentially, regulation being held up in a divided government.
So what I think we're witnessing is a reversal of the potential for the blue wave that I think people were preparing for. And so with that, what's been taken off the table is really some of these more far left progressive policies that I think the market was fearing. And one of them at this time of the year was potentially higher capital gains. And some of those winners going into this would have been at risk, where we would have seen more selling. So we are seeing that abating. We think that's good for the markets here. We've had a good few days so far. But I think, once we get out of earnings season, which has been a little bit better than expected, we're going to come back to say, what is really going to be the impact of COVID? What is going to be the impact of divided government if there's a change in the White House? What sorts of policies would they may put in through executive orders? I think it's going to be a less pro-business environment if that's the case. But with a Republican-held Senate, I think a lot of things will be held in check, and there'll probably not be a lot done over the next 4 years unless it's sent out from the White House.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.